Hello everybody, welcome to the JavaScript course. In this video, I'm going to discuss custom events. So JavaScript can really generate its own events. So we can use the event class and use the dispatchEvent function to do so. And also we can create our custom event class with the detail field included. Also, I'm going to tell you some standard UI events that we can use directly without creating our events for those standard ones. Now, let us see the HTML file first. The HTML file has a number of things here. I have a title here, and then I link this HTML file to a CSS file. So the CSS file is called styles.css. And after that, I have a body. The body has a heading here. And underneath the body, I have a division called my box. So now the division has become a rectangle in yellow. So how can I do so? Let us go to the CSS file. So the CSS file has determined the width, the height, and the background color of that division. So that's why I can see such a small box in yellow, okay? And of course, I have to link my JavaScript file to the HTML file. And the JavaScript file is called myscript.js, which is put in the JS folder, okay? So we can see the hierarchy of the files on the left-hand side. So index.html together with the styles.css are placed at the same level. And after that, I have a JS folder, and the JS folder contains my JavaScript file, okay? Now, let us go to the JavaScript file. In order for me to use the strict mode, I have to say use strict on the first line of the JavaScript file. And here comes our topic for today. So rather than waiting for the user-generated events, JavaScript can actually generate its own events. So JavaScript can do something like this. It can generate its own events, or it can generate some ordinary events such as the MouseEvent or the KeyboardEvent. So let us see the way to really generate the event from JavaScript itself. So there are some ways to do so. One of the ways is to create a new event object from the event class. So the event class is a built-in class. So we can make use of this built-in class to generate an event in JavaScript. The format is like this. We use let event equals new event, and we include the type of the event together with some options. So the type here can be ordinary event types or our user-defined types. So the ordinary types can be like that: click, context menu, mouse over, and so on. In addition, we can make use of our own user-defined event types as well, which will be discussed later. And the options here has to be careful. The options part contains two attribute value pairs, bubble equals false and cancelable equals false by default. So bubbling here means the ordinary bubbling of JavaScript. It means that the descendants can trigger the events on the ancestors. So the cancelable part here means something like this. If we set cancelable equals true, it means that we allow prevent default function to be called. So by default, we don't allow the prevent default function to be called, okay? So these pairs are the default settings, okay? So let us see an example. Suppose I just pick up this particular box, which is called my box in the HTML file, which is this one. So my box is here, and my box is already obtained by the getElementById method in JavaScript, okay? So I have this my box variable, meaning this division, which is already in yellow color. So let us try to set up an event object using the event class. So I use the event class, and I give the type of this event called showString, okay? So I'm going to show some string when this event happens, okay? So the event object is called myEvent, okay? And after that, I can make an event listener. So you can see that I can set up an event listener so that when the show string event has been triggered, my box element is going to do something. So I'm going to set up some string in my division saying that the new text has been added due to the event. Okay, so after I have set up an event listener, how can I really tell JavaScript to use the event object? Let me show you my way. The idea is to do something like this: event target.dispatchEvent, and I've put the event object into the argument of the dispatchEvent function. So in order to generate an event, we really dispatch this custom event from the event target. So how can I do so? Let me show you my way. So the idea is like this. I have set up an event listener for my box, okay? So this is my box element. So I want this element to dispatch an event called MouseEvent. So this event object has already been passed to the dispatchEvent function, okay? So after doing so, the element called myBox is really able to make up an event, and the event listener here will try to do something in response to the event called MouseEvent, okay? So let us see the result. Save. Reload. Yes, you can see that the new text has been added into the division. So the idea is like this. I set up an event and I make an event listener to take care of this particular event object whose type is called throw string. Okay, so when there is an event of type called show string to be dispatched already from the element, the event listener here is trying to do something contained in this function so that I can see some new text here, okay? So that is the basic principle of making a custom event, okay? And I can show something more about the custom event. So I can have a property called isTrusted. So if the event is really created by a real person, not by JavaScript itself, isTrusted variable becomes true. Otherwise, it will be false. So since this event is generated by JavaScript, not by a real person, you can expect that the isTrusted variable will turn false in my case. So let us see how I can use this property. So I have set up a string like this one. If the event is not trusted, that means if the event is generated by JavaScript, I can add some string more after the new text added string, which is already shown, okay? So let us see the result. Save. Reload. Yes, you can see that in addition to the string given by the event called MouseEvent, I can also show that the event is really generated by JavaScript, not by humans. So you can see that I have some additional string added after the original string called new text added, okay? So we can make up our own events and we can tell JavaScript to generate that event, and the event can be listened by an event listener, okay? So after generating an event, and after we have dispatched this event to a certain element, we can use the event listener to do something in response to this custom event. So that is the basic idea, okay? After that, we can talk about another topic called standard UI event classes, okay? So there are some standard event classes related to the user interface. For example, we have the UI event class, MouseEvent class, FocusEvent class, and KeyboardEvent class, and so on. We can use these event classes when we create these events because there are some specific properties for us to use. So if we focus on these events that are generated by JavaScript, we can use these events directly without creating our event class like what we did for the last part, okay? So let us see an example about it. I want to do something about the KeyboardEvent. Okay, I set up a keyboard event object called MouseEvent2. So the idea is like this. When I press a certain key, I want to generate an event of key down type. So when JavaScript wants to use this event object, the key to generate by the JavaScript will be J, and also the shift key will be pressed as well. So that's why shift key equals true. That means I have told JavaScript to make a custom event that is like pressing a shift key. Okay, so how can I make use of this event? Let us see. So I just want to show the key and the shift key pressed by JavaScript itself, not by a real person. So how can I do so? Let us see. Save. Reload. Yes, you can see that I have the key called J being printed out, and I have seen the value called true on the web page. That means the shift key is really pressed. So when I use this event, the key to press is just J, and the shift key is also pressed at the same time. Okay. So these things are special to the KeyboardEvent class. So we can make use of these special properties provided by these standard UI event classes. So we can make use of them to facilitate our job. We don't need to create our own event class and do something similar to the previous part by writing everything by ourselves. Okay. Another part to talk about is the CustomEvent class. The CustomEvent class can help us make our own event object with a user-defined event name. So we also have a detail field which is provided to input some key value pairs of our own information. So we can see that the CustomEvent class is quite similar to the event class that I showed you previously, like this one. Okay, but this CustomEvent class is a bit more special because we can use the detail field to include some custom information. So let us see an example about it. Okay, I set up my custom event called my CustomEvent. Okay, and I use the CustomEvent class. The type is called print data, so I'm going to print some data. So the detail of this custom event object is like this. I have a key value pair. The key is the day, and the value is just the value obtained by the getDate function from a date object called now. Okay, so I want to see the day of a week. So I can use this detail later on. And then I can set up my own event listener to listen to the print data event. Okay. So the idea is like this. I set up an event listener to listen to the event of type print data. And when this event is really triggered, I do something like this. The event object is put into the function, and then the function tries to add some HTML content to my original box called my box. Okay. So we can see that I want to print out the day of a week using the event.detail.day. So this event refers to the event object here. So this event object has a detail field, and I can pick up the value of this day key. Okay. So event.detail.day would just refer to this day of a week obtained by the date object called now. Okay. So now I just dispatch this event called CustomEvent. Okay, so this custom event will be triggered by JavaScript itself, and the event listener is able to do something in response to the dispatched event. So let us see the result. Save. Reload. Yes, you can see today is day 1. So day 1 means Monday. Okay, so I made this video on Monday. Okay, so day 1 means Monday. Okay, So you can see that I can dispatch an event which is made by me. So when I dispatch this event, JavaScript is able to do something in response to this custom event. So the print data type is matched. So this custom event has the type called print data. So when the event listener listens to this print data type of event, it can do something in response to such an event. Okay, so you can see that using custom event class, we can do something about the detail, which is put in the form of key value pairs. Okay, so this video has already talked about the way to set up custom events. The first way is to use the event class, which is a built-in class, and we set up an event listener in response to the event of this particular type that I set up in my own way. And then I can just dispatch this event to a certain element in the DOM tree. Okay, so when this event is already dispatched, JavaScript is just like a real person who generates the event. Okay, but of course, JavaScript is able to distinguish whether that event is generated by JavaScript itself or by a real person. So we can use the isTrusted property to see whether the event is generated by JavaScript or not. Okay. Also, there are some standard UI event classes in JavaScript. Now I used the KeyboardEvent class as an example. So these events provide some special properties for us to use. That's why we don't need to create our own event for these standard UI events. Okay. And we can also set up a custom event class to include some detail that is put into a field of the custom event object. So we can add some key value pairs of custom information. So in my case, I add up detail about the day of a week that I triggered this event. And of course, after that, I can make up an event listener to listen to that particular type of event called print data in my case. And then I just dispatch this event called my custom event. Then JavaScript can help us do something in response to the custom event that I dispatched. This is the end of the video. If you have any questions about my video, please leave your questions on the comment section below the video. If you like this video, please give me a like and please subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching.